Anderson, and this is my co-host, Denise Eaddy-Richardson.
Hello, everyone.
Here on Real Talk, we focus on family, health, community, restoration, and church, giving real solutions from the Word for very real problems. We're excited to introduce you to Minister Tina Tisdale. She is an Ohio native and now resides here in Michigan. She has done great work with those who struggle with mental health. Welcome to Real Talk, Tina.
Well, thank you.
Right, so we're just going to get started talking to you today. Can you tell us a little bit about your Christian faith?
Well, I grew up at my grandfather's church in Rossford, Ohio, which is like a suburb of Toledo, Ohio.
Okay.
And I grew up there, and that's where my mother was a Sunday school teacher.
Oh.
And she taught the little kids. And she was very creative at it because she kept their attention and everything. And I would watch her because she even taught me. I was in her class. And I saw how she was so excited about what she did. She had a lot of passion for it. And believe me, we would rarely ever miss a Sunday going to Sunday school.
Wow, so you have the ability to see her prep for all those things as well.
Because I would like help her sometimes and everything. That I, just seeing her do that. I think that's what really helped me with trying to, tap into that creative vein of doing things, because she didn't want to make the class boring for the kids. So she homemade bake stuff, and she even shaped things like, put shapes into things with God, and she was just really creative, and I really, really, really enjoyed the class and watching her do that.
So that made you really enjoy going to church every Sunday.
Yes.
So did you continue that into your adulthood?
Yes, I did. I grew up singing in the choirs and stuff because my aunt was the choir director.
Oh.
So my first solo was Amazing Grace. And she didn't know that I sing, I didn't know either until she said, Tina, do that part right there.
How old were you?
I would say I was probably like about 11.
Wow.
I started singing in the choirs and things like that when I was little. Because music was always around. And when I got to they had a teenage choir. And they had the girls sing the nice, sweet, Amazing Grace, the sweet way. And there was a part where you had to come in strong. And she said, Tina, get at a try, do it. And I'm like, no. And she said, what did I say? So it's like you didn't have a choice because she's my aunt,
Right.
So she said, do it now. And so I said, okay. And she scared me so much that if I didn't come in right, I know I would hear it after rehearsal. So when I sang, I was like, is that me?
Wow.
And she looked at me. She said, you been taking lessons? And I said, no, other than coming to church. She didn't believe me, so she asked my mom. She said, did you know Tina could sing? She said, yeah. I was just waiting for her to take her own time in doing it.
Oh.
I felt like it'll come out.
Right.
And so from then on, I was always in the choir and things like that. And eventually, when I got in my early 20s, I wanted to see what it's like to go to church without a bunch of family. So I went to Southern Missionary Baptist Church. It was a huge choir.
Wow.
And it was so much fun being in that choir. Because Brother Carr, who was over it, he was also worked for the Toledo Public Schools as like a music teacher. So the way he would teach us from down south, we did all like the hymns and different things like that, and he would like twist them and turn them in different ways and have that. I was in the alto section as always, but he was really encouraging, and I kept going with it. And eventually, as life went on, I ended up here because I got married, and me and my ex, we came up here.
Okay, so marriage brought you to Michigan.
Yes. And we came up here, trying to find a church home. It was like a hit and miss. He liked it, or I didn't like the church. I wasn't feeling it. Finally, we got it together when we came to Strong Tower.
Okay.
And we both liked Strong Tower. So we stayed here, and I was in the choir and everything, and I didn't realize getting on the praise team meant you also had to be in the choir. I'm like, okay, one or the other, but I went on and did it, but I'm really a choir person, really. I enjoy the choir. I like being in a big group with the altos, sopranos, whatever. I I like the big group kind of.
That harmony sound.
Yeah, I like the big sound. So yeah, I really did. So I don't know. As time went on, as far as my faith walk, I've always had issues with my weight.
Mm-hmm.
There's been even a lot of people in my family who dealt with
that have issues with their weight as well.
Mm-hmm. And
so Tina, you said always had. From what age?
I, as far as I can remember, I think probably when I was like 5, 6. And I think what really hit me about, my health was when my mother got cancer. And I saw how she went from being a vibrant, active person to how her health just went downhill. Right. And that hit me. And watching her go through that, it really started me thinking about my health more seriously, because I didn't really start having issues with my health, with chronic things like high blood pressure, diabetes, things like that, until I was like maybe in my late 30s. Up until then, I got around. Even when I was like a kid, I would run as fast as the other kids. I was active. I was never slowed down by it, but as I got older, I noticed like, oh, I'm feeling more tired, or, And so I was talking to my mom one day, and I said, Mom, I'm thinking about getting a weight loss surgery. She said, Reed, you don't need that. And I know when I was in my 20s, my early 20s, my cousin got into Weight Watchers. And by that time, I was like I weighed then like, I don't know, was it 340?
You were in your 30s?
I was in my 20s.
Oh, 20s.
And so my cousin said, we want to try Weight Watchers. I said, yeah. Well, I stuck with it, but I lost it so fast. I think I lost like 112 pounds in 6 months.
And how many months did it take to gain it back?
It took me a couple of years. Yeah. It took me a couple of years to gain it back. So by the time I had met my husband, got married, put on some weight, it was like slowly coming on. And then we moved up here, and I think because it was a new environment I was in, I used food as a comfort.
Compensated for the loneliness.
Yeah, missing my family, just uprooting. It was just, I just, having to meet new people, it was a lot,
Stress.
It's stress, yeah. And then, like I said, once my mother got sick, by that time, I had gotten like, between being worried about her up here, just a lot. Not happy in my marriage.
Yeah.
I was so surprised when I went to go get a physical, because they're talking about wanting to have a baby, wanting to do this, wanting to do that, and so I said, well, I need to see what's going on with my health. So when I got on the scale, and when it said, I think it said 400 and 20 pounds or something like that, I was like, what?
And this was after you did Weight Watchers.
Oh yeah, because by this time I'm in my 40s.
It was years later.
Yes. And I'm just like, wow, I can't, wow. And then around that time, my mother, like I said, she started getting sick. And so that's when I started saying, okay, got to do something about this.
So you had a lot of stress.
Yep.
Stress in your marriage.
Yep.
Stress in being in a different community.
Yep.
Stress of your mother being ill. And all that stress builds cortisol in your body. And cortisol tells your body that it cannot lose weight because it keeps it there. Because the body perceives itself to be in danger. Now, I got all of this out of an article, and I can give Mark David credit for it because it was in the Psychology of Weight Loss, an article. But the body perceives itself to be in danger. It's in survival mode. So your metabolism slows down. But under stress, you need comfort.
Yeah.
So what do you do when you need comfort?
Eat.
You eat.
Yeah.
Okay, so your body says, okay, I got that food. I'm going to store me some fat. So how did you deal with all that going on?
I started taking an honest look. You only got this is only your one life.
Right.
This is not a dress rehearsal. So, while with my mother being sick, and then I started talking to her about weight loss surgery. She said, I don't think you need it. I just think you just need to. I think you can do it without the weight loss surgery. You've done it before. You can do it again. And I said, okay. She said, just go to the doctor first. Don't just try that first. Just try it on your own.
That's good advice for anybody.
And I
Right.
said, okay. So it was hard watching her pass, but she kept saying, you can do this, Reed, even while she was so sick, and I was looking at her like, now here I am, she encouraging me, and I need to be encouraging her, and I don't know, it was
That's
mama.
but she's
Yeah.
my mom,
That's mama.
So, like I said, well, Mom, I promise you, I'm gonna try my best. And stuff. She said, honey, you've been with God. You know God, and you know He's able to help you through anything. But promise me that you keep God first. Be honest with yourself with everything. And I knew what she meant by that. She said, because I know you're not happy with certain things. And she wouldn't say, but we knew what it was about, okay? With my husband, with job, with everything, I said, I promise, So when she passed, I said, well, okay, Lord, I'm going to give it a year with my marriage, to see what... and tried counseling, this, that, and the other, not following through, with anything, and I just, just everything. And I said, I can't be miserable like this, and it's affecting my health.
Right.
So what were the signs of your health that were being affected?
Well, I just didn't like the fact that I ended up medications for diabetes. Medication, then I ended up being on 2 medications for blood pressure, high blood pressure. I said, I got to do something. So, like I said, eventually after that year, things weren't better. So, ended up filing for divorce. And I noticed once I got myself together, and then I went through like financial struggles.
Yes, that can happen.
With trying to keep my house, trying to maintain, but at the same time I felt free. And I said, Lord, it's me and you. And I know
What a better team.
I said, it's me and you, and I have friends and everything, who are very encouraging, the self-esteem, I knew that was low. And I had a lot of work to do. So I noticed it's weird how God, when I said, God, I need your help. I want to live. I know if I keep going like this, I'm not going to make it. So I need help, So I went to my doctor. And that's when the doctor referred, I said, can I go to, she said, I don't think you need weight loss surgery.
What type of doctor?
My regular primary care physician.
With internal medicine?
Yes. And I think I liked her a lot too because she's a black female. So she said, I just think let's give it a try for a year. You trying it on your own. I said, well, I'm going to need more than me trying it on my own. So can I go to a dietitian, nutritionist, somebody? And she said, yeah, I refer you to one. And the lady was so nice. And I said, what should I do? She said, okay, you got diabetes, high blood pressure. Let's try this here. She gave me like a meal plan, like kind of like an ideal of what I should be eating for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. Gave me some ideas. And she said, how about exercise? She said, I think you should start with water aerobics or water exercises. I said, really? And then I noticed I started to kind of perk up. I said, because that sounds like fun.
When you said it, I thought it sounded like fun.
So I went to Washtenaw Community Recreation Center. and they did like give me a plan and everything, and I started going, and I started really liking it. So after those weeks of doing it, it was over with. I think the program lasted for like 8 weeks, but by that time, somebody mentioned cardio drumming. And I said, and I like music, and you just hit to the beat. You up and down doing squats, moving your whole body, going up and down to the music, going around the ball, and it was so much fun. So I did that a few times a week. And what helped too, I had my friend with me who lived with me for like at least 6 months, and she would go with me and encourage me. And she was a pretty healthy eater.
Yeah, partner.
Well, that
multiple
helps.
dimensions.
Yeah, that helps.
The exercise and the eating.
Right. And so I was just like, okay. And she would encourage me and stuff. And she's like, Tina, have you noticed you know, been losing more weight? And I was like, you know what? I really haven't paid a lot of attention
Just
to
been
it.
having fun.
I enjoy it, and I'm trying to eat right, this, that, and the other. And I think by that time, from the Washington Community College, I think I lost after that 8-week program like 20 pounds. And I noticed, I was like, oh, this is feeling good, you know? And then I went into cardio drumming, and I kept going with that. And then my job had offered free Weight Watchers. I said, oh, here we go with Weight Watchers. But they had changed the program a little bit. So I stayed on that. By that time, I was 337 pounds.
So you lost quite a bit of weight.
Because my doctor was like, ooh, you're doing really good. Keep it up.
So when you went to Weight Watchers, were they counting calories at the second time you went?
They weren't counting calories. It was more of points, the point system, you know. And I like the fact that I like fruit and I like vegetables, you know. So that was right up my alley. And I like the fact that I could start really exploring food, like learning how to make things that I like in a more healthy way.
I did Weight Watchers for a little while, and it also tells you stuff that you think is really healthy might be like 20 points, a lot of salt and sugar and stuff in it, so it helps you know what to stay away from as well.
It helped me a lot.
So what I'm hearing is, we talked about the stress, and what I'm hearing is the pleasure.
Yes.
That you got pleasure from even hearing the doctor talk about exercise. You got pleasure from the exercise program you were in at the gym. And then you got pleasure from the cardiovascular drumming with music.
And the music comes
your
up
great
again.
love.
Yes.
Okay, and all these things reduce stress.
Yes, I did. I felt so much better.
You had a friend living with you who was role modeling how to eat, okay?
Yes.
Going to do the cardio drumming with you, and you were taking time to enjoy your food.
Yes.
And eating more sensibly. So enjoying your food is even looking at the plate and appreciating the colors that's on the plate.
Yeah, I noticed from the food part of it all, I'm a volume eater.
Okay.
And it does have to have good color. Okay, so.
What about texture?
Yeah, most definitely.
And what about fragrance?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like, if I'm going to take my time to eat my points, I want it to be pleasing. Because this is what all I got to eat each day. So it has to look good and smell good. It has to appeal to all my senses.
Okay. And that reduces stress. So that song, I'm on the right road now. Okay. Keep going, my sister.
But yeah, I got into the cardio drumming thing, and then eventually, as I felt more comfortable, I was able to move better. I was more mobile, because before I would get so upset because I would go to the mall, like I want to go to the mall with my friends, and I would have to sit down a lot because I was tired.
Did you really realize at that point how immobile you were? How much your mobility had decreased?
Yeah, because the huffing and puffing, the carrying, I was like, well, dog, what's going on? Well, you're big. You come on now.
Well, that's being honest with you.
Yeah, and again, yes. And I'm looking like, okay, this is not making it. I gotta do something because I want to live. So,
and not just breathe.
Right.
But when you say I want to live, tell me what that entails.
It tells me the simple things. Because when you're really heavy, you're limited in really what you can do. You might have the desire to do it, but it feel like you're a prisoner in your own body.
Right.
You know, it's nice to go get on an airplane and actually fit better in the seats. You know, sometimes I still might have to ask for an extender, but the person sitting next to me don't feel like they like, oh, wait a minute, like, you know, like I'm taking over the whole 2-3 seats. You know what I mean? It feels I can get around better. Like I recently went to with the women's group. You know, went to Baltimore for conference. It felt good to keep up. We had to walk a distance. It felt good to be able to keep up with them and not feel tired. It's just a simple thing that I was able to do that it felt good. Now I can do it. And then like trying other things. I even did a boxing. I want to get a boxing, start boxing exercises. And I did that with my cousin. I went with my cousin had her 50th birthday party. And she invited people. Her first part of her birthday, it was a 2-day celebration. But she did a boxing class. And it's like the lights went out, all the lights came on, and we started doing the boxing thing.
That sounds like fun.
And I was keeping up with all of it, where some of them was maybe kind of dropping out, like, Tina, you still hanging in there? I said, I've been doing cardio drumming. I ride my bike. I go, I was riding my bike outside.
In it to win it.
Yeah. I said, and it feels good. Sometimes, if I fall off with a little bit with my eating, I know that my exercising is going to help me with burning off some of. So now exercise is truly a big part of me maintaining.
Right, and exercise is important for your mobility as you get older. It's important to stay busy and stay active.
Yeah. As I've gotten older, I notice things stiff up more. If I go, I notice after a couple of days of not exercising, I can feel it.
God wants us to prosper and be in good health and also have abundant life.
Yes.
And it sounds like that's what you're claiming for yourself.
Yes.
Good health. Talk about how your health changed.
Well, I still, a lot of people, even the people who are in good shape in my family, they still struggle with high blood pressure and diabetes. What I'm happy about is that for my diabetes medicine, that has been cut in half.
Oh, wow, that's great.
The amount that I'm prescribed to take. So I'm noticing in my numbers, with the cholesterol, with different things, they're so much better now. So, and then I like the fact that I'm going slow with my weight loss. Because the last time when I lost 112 pounds, and I gained it right back because my mind didn't really catch up with how my body was changing. And it just didn't. Like people say, "Oh, Tina, you really look nice." In my mind, I was still seeing myself as wearing a size 26, 28. My mind just didn't catch up. So this time, I really want to lose it and keep it off.
So when losing it and keeping it off, are you noticing any behavioral changes for you, like in the way in your relationship with food? Certain patterns of eating that you abandon or things that have shifted?
Yeah, I'm more aware and mindful of what I'm putting in my mouth and how much and time of the day. Like, okay, yeah, I might want something to eat, but it's 9 o'clock at night now.
Right, that's important.
That food will be there the next day. Slow it down, get something to drink or something. And if you're gonna get a piece of fruit. You don't need a piece of pizza. Because my struggle now is my dad, he lives with me, so he does not eat like I eat. So that's been kind of a struggle, because sometimes I had, make things for him, and he want fried chicken.
Air fryer.
Yeah, and that's what I've been doing lately for him, and he likes it.
Well, that's great.
Or I bake something in the oven, and it's with the seasonings and stuff, so I've been using the air fryer a lot for him, because it helps me, so I'm not tempted to pinch off of these, eat that, a piece of this, and I can't. I told him, I said, I can't do that.
Come too far.
Yes.
So you're helping him with his journey as well.
Yeah, because he's lost a few pounds.
A little
yeah.
When he allows it.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't try to push it off to a whole lot on him, but I just tell him, hey, let's try the air fryer this time.
It makes a difference.
And he's been eating it. He likes it. So yeah.
So another good thing in a weight loss journey is that you have the ability to buy more clothes. So tell us a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm. I've been seeing
New
that on
clothes.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Well, I do like clothes, but again, here's another thing. The old clothes that I had, I have a friends and cousins that I would still wear some of my clothes that from before, because again, the mind catching up with the body. And I have friends that say, if you wear that one more time, give that away.
Hey, friends.
Stop it with the old clothes, So that's what I would. So now it's like I have a fashionista friend who keeps me on track with all that. So yeah.
That's another fun part of losing weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Buying new clothes.
Yeah.
Going shopping.
Yep. And I enjoy it. Those sales racks. Yeah.
Tina, it's been great.
Well, it's great being here. I'm glad you asked me. I was just so happy to get asked. So, yeah.
That's all the time we have today. But make sure you join us next week because Tina will be back. Remember, earth has no sorrow that heaven can't heal. We'll see you next week, and God bless.
If you would like to help support this broadcast or become a sponsor, visit realtalktoday.com. Remember to join our Facebook page and follow us on Instagram. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would love to hear your thoughts of our show, so we look forward to hearing from you. If you're in the Ypsilanti, Michigan area and would like to be a part of our show, visit realtalktoday.com to find out how. Until next time, keep it real.